Welcome to the first look, and today SMSL sent me a D10, which is a USB DAC and headphone amplifier, technically a dongle. This one is using the Cirrus Logic 43131, and it does come with two chips, so it does have balance mode. And this dongle does have an output of 500 milliwatt and comes in at about $100. So thanks to SMSL for sending me this copy to do this first look itself. And without wasting time, let's unbox this and then do some comparisons and try out. I just want to say that today's comparison, because I sold my Moondrop away, I do not have any other 43131 to compare. I will get something probably more expensive to compare with and see how this performs. Now let's not waste time and unbox this. So there's a card inside. These days audio companies like to give cards. A USB cable, the dongle itself. Now this is the dongle, this is the SMSL D10, and it's a very small dongle with a nice glass window behind, as you can see. 500 milliwatts of output in balance mode at 32 ohms, making it good enough to power headphones, and I will try out in this particular review. But pretty much, as you can see from the close-up, it is a very nice device. Very, very classy. I don't know whether will this get scratched up over time, but very, very nice classy device. Two outputs, as you can see, 3.5 and 4.4, and then one input, USB-C, as you can see here. Now let's connect this up and try it out. So for today's comparison dongle will be the Questyle M15. I know this is a bit expensive, but pretty much most of my other dongles, I kind of sold it away or gave it to my friends. This is the only few out that I have that is not an R2R. R2R sounds really different. So this is my closest bet to any form of comparison. Now I'll be connecting it to my Hiby R4 here. And the reason is very simple. Android devices do output nicely to dongles. And well, the Hiby R4 will get the job done pretty well. So for my earphones, I'll be using the U12T, and the headphones, I'll be using the DCA Stealth. So let's take a listen. So before I start talking about the sound impression, I just want to say that one of the things you have to be careful with this device is the volume control. And that's because the volume control on the device is outside here. So, you do not really know what's the volume level. And I can tell you out of the factory, it was at max volume. It was really, really, really loud. So just be careful when you plug in. Just use maybe a headphone or something, and then use digital volume control first to just make sure what's the volume level of this device before you start playing with the IEMs in your ears, because just be careful on that. So the other issue is that when you click the volume controls, you have no idea is it getting louder or softer. Now this device have a lot of steps. I'm not too sure how many steps it is, but there is definitely a lot of steps to control the volume. There is no gain switch. So when I was lowering the volume, I don't really even know that am I lowering the volume significantly or not. I had to swap to a headphone and just press it down all the way. Alternatively is use digital volume control using your device and control it. Maybe that's the better way out. But in summary, just be careful. It does come, at least when I first connect it, at max volume. The good thing, however, is that it maintains the volume setting once you set it. So when I pull out the cable and re-plugged it into my device, it actually maintains the same volume. So that being said, still be careful when you first plug in any form of amplification device. Just make sure that it's not going to blow your ears. So from the initial test between these two devices, I honestly have to say the truth that I can't hear much difference. The only difference really is that there is just a touch more bass energy on the M15. But other than that, they sound nearly identical, at least using the song backlight lossless edition here, of course. Pretty much, I can't hear much difference using the U12T, which is a good sign, right? A good sign. There is actually no difference in terms of its soundstage. The vocals are rendered very similarly for the Ado's vocal. The bass were still very punchy on both of them. There is just a slight touch more bass energy on the M15. The treble, which is the cymbals, the high frequency instruments played in backlight, sounds exactly the same. No difference in soundstage nor air either. And even the tonality, normally there is some difference in tonality. It's slightly warmer, slightly cooler. I cannot hear a difference. Maybe the bass energy here is tweaking some things here, but you know, on general, I would say that both of them are so similar that I really can't tell. So pretty much, at least when it comes to sound quality using my U12T, I would say as if you are using the SMSL D10 versus the Questyle M15, it sounds the same to me at least, and you can just save your money and buy the D10 if you're just driving IEMs compared to the M15. Okay, now that is of course the easy one, you know, but this is 500 milliwatts, so let's try headphones. And for headphones, I'll be using the DCA Stealth to compare. So this is my DCA Stealth. It's a power-hungry headphone, pretty much one of the more insensitive ones in the market, and it has a very, very low impedance. So coupled with its power requirement, this will be a challenge to many dongles out there. Most dongles will distort when you try to play it loud. So we'll try with the D10. Now for the device I'll be comparing with will not be the Questyle because it's outright lower power. We do not need to argue on that. So I'll be using the W2 Ultra from Luxury and Precision here. Now this is something that costs a lot more. It does output more power, at least on specifications. But let's see how loud can they go before distorting, you know, the D10 versus the W2 Ultra. And is there a difference in sound quality when playing the DCA Stealth? So I finished comparing both of these with the DCA Stealth, and I just want to comment a few things, right? First, when it comes to sound quality, I think they are very similar. Again, both of them are Cirrus Logic chips. And, you know, of course, the Luxury Precision has a little bit more other chips inside and stuff with some EQ and stuff. But on its default mode, both of them sound very similar. And if there is any difference at all, is that the mids are just a little bit more powerful on the L&P. But this little bit, I want to caveat it is because it is very minor, and volume probably play a bigger part in it than even the quality of the chip themselves. But I tried my best, did multiple tries, and that's a difference in sound. Now, when it comes to power, however, I did notice something. Firstly, the Luxury and Precision W2 Ultra cannot be powered through a DAP. See, I have two DAPs here. So this is the R4 and this is my Shanling M9. Both of them could not power the W2 Ultra to its max volume. And when you go close to the max, it will just, you know, suddenly disconnect itself and restart. While for the D10, you can actually go max volume on this and it doesn't distort with the DCA Stealth. The question is, can the W2 Ultra truly go higher? So I went outside and used my laptop to power it up. Now, using the laptop, I can reach max volume for the W2 Ultra, and this is the result. Now, both of them do not distort when you play at max volume. How I know that is that I didn't want to make myself deaf, so I just put my Stealth about 2 cm away from the ear, and you know, it sounds crappy, but you can hear that there's no distortion. And then I put it on my ear for maybe like 10 seconds to make sure that the sound is playing properly, right? At least when it comes to hearing distortion with the ear, both of them did not sound like they have any distortion at all. But the W2 Ultra is truly louder, and it's a lot louder in fact. The D10 played at about 95 decibel using my phone to measure the loudness. What I did was to clip my phone in between the DCA Stealth and measure it. So it was at the exact same position. Number wise, the D10 is 95 decibel, while the W2 Ultra is 100 decibels. Now, this is deafening volume, and if you were to put your ear into the cup with the ceiling and stuff, it's going to be slightly even above 100 decibels because your ear gets slightly ever closer to the driver themselves. This is really, really loud. I don't recommend you listen at that volume, but I do know that people listen at 100 decibels. Why they do that? No idea. But if you are the audience that listen to 100 decibel, yes, the W2 Ultra is a better performing dongle itself. It does give you 100 decibels of volume. 95 sounds like, very close, but it is not very close in real life because 3 decibel is twice the volume, and this is like 5 over decibels difference, so it is almost more than twice the volume, even though we cannot hear that it's twice the volume, but it is really, really, really loud. So in summary is that the D10 here is a really, really good dongle. If you ask me, based on its performance, sound quality wise, I really can't hear much difference between this and higher end dongles when it comes to the sound quality. To recap, the M15 just feel like it has a little bit more bass body, just a little bit more bass there, while the W2 Ultra just have a little bit, a bit more powerful mids. Now, this is subjective. Both of them, in fact, are subjective, and just tweaking the volume around may change your perception on it. So, I would say as if you are in the market to not listen ultra loud, this probably makes no difference when it comes to sound quality compared to higher end dongles. Where it makes a difference, however, is when you play maximum volume, and that is where the W2 Ultra is better. Literally, it plays 5 decibel louder, and that is a difference, which whether you care or not is another thing. Now, should we listen at 100 decibel? I will not debate today, but I think 95 decibel is pretty loud for most users, especially using a DCA Stealth. Now, if you are not using a DCA Stealth, like some IEMs or some other headphones, you could easily breach 100 decibels, unless you are using something like Susvara on this. I really don't see why you need that much power in a dongle to play music and playing it that loud. So in summary, I really think that the D10 is very worth its price, 100 Sing dollars, I believe. The USD price I'll put on the screen. It performs very well. It performs up to its spec. It goes really, really loud, has no distortion, and pretty much work out as a dongle. The only complaint I ever have for this dongle is the volume control, which I have no idea, am I increasing the volume, decreasing the volume? And when I took it out of the box, it was at max volume, so something to note there. So that's really about it. This is the SMSL D10 dongle, very worthy purchase and something to consider. Till the next time, I'll see you guys again. Bye bye.